Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, where it seems that, Mickey, wearing his gothic outfit, I don't know why I'm doing that voice, but basically he's going through his Mark of Mastery exam. And, as you're soon going to be seeing, it seems that both Yensid and, well, who we're going to be meeting in a little bit, have very different ideas on what the Mark of Mastery actually is, but I'll get into that a little bit later. In the meantime, yes indeed, this is Master Yensid, who, as I mentioned before, was once a Keyblade Master before he doffed that mantle.
Mickey, I cannot shake the feeling something terrible is about to transpire.
Yeah, that's basically his way of putting a torchlight in the foreshadow by basically saying that shit's gonna get fucked up and, well, things aren't gonna end very well for Aqua, Terra, and Ventus. The 3 lights, perhaps 4 lights, will be extinguished. But this is basically the character selection screen. If you choose not to do any of the tutorials, you pretty much see this first up, and it might say, like, first up that all stories are complete, but that's only because of the fact that I have previous save data from earlier playthroughs of the game, so no, these stories are in fact not complete, but this basically just means that you can access the final episode, and we'll get to that a little bit later, because that's slightly frustrating due to some trivia that I have. But I won't talk about that until we get to Aqua's story, which will be, well, after a certain set of videos. In the meantime, as I said beforehand, we're going to be tackling the story as Ventus, then Aqua, then Terra. What's that? We want to do it alphabetically. First Aqua, then Ventus, then Terra. By rank, Aqua, then Ventus, then Terra. Ventus, then Aqua, then Terra. I have no idea why I said it like that. I completely said everything completely wrong, but basically, this is the land of departure. This is pretty much the Keyblade Monastery, or so I choose to believe. Oh yes, I like your ass, boy. Xehanort! But it's also here where we're not just meeting Master Xehanort again, but in turn we're also seeing the Lord of the Castle in the Land of Departure, Keyblade Master Eraqus, voiced by Mark Hamill. Yes, that's right, Luke Skywalker is in the game.
Today you will be examined for the Mark of Mastery. Not one, but 2 of the Keyblade's chosen stand here as candidates. But this is neither a competition nor a battle for supremacy. Not a test of wills, but a test of heart. Both of you may prevail, or neither. But I am sure our guest, Master Xehanort, did not travel all this way to see our youngest prospects in years fall short of the mark. I trust you are ready.
Yes.
Then let the examination begin.
Don't worry about me. You 2 focus on the exam.
But Ven, you're in danger here. Go wait in your room.
No way. I've been looking forward to this. Seeing you 2 become masters. I'm not gonna miss it now.
He can take care of himself. He's been out there training just as hard as us.
Yeah.
Stay sharp, Ven.
So yeah, a bit of a change-up compared to what Yensid was doing with Mickey. Well, then again, it both looks a little bit nonsensical if you don't know what the Mark of Mastery actually is, but in a similar vein to what Master Eraqus is going to elicit shortly after he, you know, has their students fight balls of light, or at least what would have been had Xehanort not interfered with the test, and why Eraqus didn't see that is a little bit disconcerting, especially given their history together, but I'll save that for much later in the commentary where we'll actually learn what the hell's going on. But in the meantime, apart from just using Ventus' shotlock, which in this case is Flame Salvo compared to Aqua's Bubbles of Death, yeah, the Mark of Mastery in and of itself, it's pretty much, well, obviously, what determines the Keyblade Apprentices from, well, Keyblade Masters, obviously, and the test of the Mark of Mastery is a bit of a hidden one. Again, it's not necessarily about how good you are with a Keyblade or how, you know, how much powerful magic you have or skills. It's really a test of how one controls the darkness within their heart. It's, to put it another way, it's kind of in a similar vein to, well, Jedi shit, which is pretty much what the whole Keyblade thing is sort of ripping off anyway. So again, if you remember anything, you know, like Star Wars, the Jedi Council and the Force or whatever, Yeah, it's not necessarily how dab hands you are with a lightsaber, it's really more about your connection with the Force and how attuned you are to the light side. At least that's how Master Eraqus sees it, as we'll see in Kingdom Hearts, Dream Drop Distance really. Yeah, Yensid has quite a different outlook on things, but I'll save that for later.
That was unexpected. But one must keep a still heart even in the most trying of circumstances. It was an excellent test, one I chose to let unfold. Which brings us to your next trial. Now, Terra and Aqua, the two of you will face each other in combat. Remember, there are no winners, only truths. For when equal powers clash, their nature is revealed. Begin!
Oh, darkness! Yes, your ass is mine, boy!
We have deliberated and reached a decision. Terra, Aqua, you both performed commendably. However, only Aqua has shown the mark of mastery. Terra, you failed to keep the darkness within you sufficiently in check. But there is always next time. That is all. Aqua, as our newest Keyblade Master, you are entitled to certain knowledge. Please wait here for further instruction.
Hey.
Terra, I'm sorry.
The darkness. Where did it come from?
What do you make of Ventus?
He ain't gonna cut it. Somebody's gotta break that loser in.
Not here, you won't. I have to keep up appearances.
I know that. He just needs a little incentive to leave home.
Sorry. But I need some time alone.
Oh man, am I gonna have a lot to say about Terra's story, but yeah, in terms of cutscenes and how I'm handling things, I'm gonna be staying silent for the most part, but if you see repeats, as you will do throughout the oncoming stories, I will talk over them, and oh boy, bitching aplenty will be had.
Better hurry, Ventus,
Huh? Who are you?
or you'll never see Terra again.
What? Get real. I can see Terra anytime I want.
Like right now, he's leaving you behind. And by the time you catch up, he'll be a different person.
Look, whoever you are, you don't know the first thing about Terra. Me and him will always be a team. You trying to pick a fight or what?
Oh, grow up. Is that what you call friendship? You'll never know the truth unless you go out and look for it yourself. Come on, what could you possibly know when you're stuck here, looking at nothing but what's in your tiny world?
Now then, you'd think that after seeing this mysterious master boy who was using dark powers, which Ventus would know for a fact is very no bueno, that he'd run off to tell, you know, Master Eraqus, the experienced Keyblade Master, or Aqua even, who has just recently become a Keyblade Master, you know, ensuring that they could deal with the threat, the fact that, you know, a being of darkness has invaded his fucking room. But no, it seems that Ventus has only one thing on his mind as he reminisces about, well, his best friend.
Terra! Terra!
It's okay.
And so with D-Links Forged, this is pretty much my biggest problem with Ventus' story right here and now, is that, again, you might think that, again, he's thinking, oh no, the Master Boy is going to do something to Terra, I have to stop him and save him from the evil, but... well, again, like, it starts off having at least some sort of point, but as Ventus' story goes on, it really begins to lack a certain sense of poignancy, or even really direction, so... The reason why I'm tackling Ventus' story first, I mean, apart from getting, you know, an introduction to all the worlds, is that Ventus' story comes across as just a little bit pointless up until the end of the game, because Ventus, kind of in a similar vein to Kyrie, really comes off as more plot device in this game rather than a legit character in his own right, so... Yeah, when it comes to Birth by Sleep, Ventus' story is a bit, Well, again, you know what, I'm bitching a bit too much, so positives. First of which is actually the theme of the Overworld segment here. It's called The Worlds on the Birth by Sleep soundtrack, and if I can say anything, probably my favourite Overworld soundtrack in the entire game. It is really beautiful, it's foreboding, it's tense, and again, I just really love this theme song. It is fucking beautiful, serene, and it's also what I'm using at the end of the video, so... Yeah, I mean, if there's anything I can say about Birth by Sleep, you know, regardless of how I might feel about the gameplay or story, the soundtrack of the game is absolutely top-notch, and honestly one of my favourites in the series, right next to... I'd say it's pretty much right behind Kingdom Hearts 2 Chain of Memories, actually, in terms of some of my favourites in the series. But anyway, we're not exactly going to be getting to any Disney worlds just yet. I mean, as you saw over there, we basically have a selection of one. But again, in a similar vein, by the time we complete that one, we can pretty much show off other worlds. Anyway, this is Xehanort's letter. This is pretty much something I'm only really showing off for posterity's sake, since it doesn't really count towards the Xehanort reports, because, yeah, they're back in this game, but... Yeah, pause the video if you want to read it. I'll pretty much summarize this in and of itself, but basically, yeah, Master Xehanort and Eraqus, they were childhood friends, grew up together, became Keyblade Masters together, but, well, I'm not going to spoil anything for Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, because it is still rather recent, although... yeah, basically... Xehanort went one way, became what, you know, the Keyblade term is called a Seeker, so he basically went off traveling the world and, well, let's just say he found darknessy things of darkness and started going, oh yes, it seems pretty cool, dude! But Eraqus, again, as something that you do learn in Dark Road is that, again, he lost his grandfather to the Hordes of Darkness, and including a lot of Eraqus and Xehanort's friends if you do play through Dark Road, so, yeah, basically, darkness at this point was basically seen as, this thing is irredeemably evil, don't fuck with it, otherwise you're evil and must be destroyed. It's very religiously bigoted, and basically, after a certain clash between Xehanort and Eraqus, they pretty much parted ways for a majority of years, up until Xehanort started training Ventus. He then left him with Eraqus so he could, you know, train him, heal his heart, after he broke up with his lost love. But yeah, this is pretty much Xehanort writing a letter to Eraqus saying, yeah, sorry for all that, dude, I've changed my ways, and, Terra seems to be getting a bit close to the darkness. Yeah. And, pretty much him saying, let me oversee the Mark of Mastery, and, I'll just be here to do a thing. Obviously, considering the fact that Xehanort is very obviously evil, and the fact that Eraqus should be treating his friend on tenterhooks at this point, given, you know... how Xehanort was dabbling in the darkness and should likely be put under a bit more of a microscope. Yeah, it's pretty much coming to a point where Terra's going one way and Aqua and Ventus are going another. But yeah, Xehanort is pretty much the start of darkness, and of course that old dude is pretty much gonna fuck shit up. But how exactly it all winds up? Well, we've kind of already seen the results of that, but let's just say Eraqus did equal parts in driving apart our friends here. Primarily because of his teachings, because you're not necessarily going to be seeing it right now, but as we go on in the story, and especially as we get through to, you know, Terra and Aqua side of things, you begin to see what his teachings really wrought on these young people. But at the same time, though, that's also left up into a bit of mystery, because while we know all about Xehanort, all about the Union Cross stuff, we know very little about, you know, the middle point in between, you know, where exactly that he found, you know, Aqua and Terra, how exactly they were raised, were they able to go out to other worlds, or were they kept purely in the land of departure? A lot of that's still kept up in mystery, and to be honest, I don't know if we'll ever get an explanation as to how they're truly set up, but it's not really important at the moment, because what is important is board games! Oh yes, the command board. You thought you were going to escape it, but don't worry, if you didn't like it here, it's going to be coming back with a vengeance. in Aqua's story, so you'll be safe. For now. But yeah, the command board is pretty much a minigame, one that you can both play in, well, the deep reaches of space, or in the Mirage Arena, which we'll be getting to in a couple parts' time, so stay tuned. But yeah, to kind of describe what the command board really is, it's basically a board game kind of... I'd say it's kind of styled after Monopoly in a certain extent, in the sense that basically what you're doing with this board game is that you're leveling up commands. Again, you place specific text, like say, again, if you put down strike rate in a certain place on the board, again, it has a set amount of value, you have goal points basically being your money, and your goal is to pretty much go around the board collecting the 4 different heart-shaped objects on the spaces, and basically getting, well, GP, which is your money. So again, collect enough GP, get around 5,000 points, which is the threshold, and you win! But as something of a bonus, you're also leveling up commands, as well as gaining some new ones, which are marked by the star-shaped objects. So again, land on the stars, you can pretty much pick up a new command like Magnet or Ragnarok, which is another shot lock. Or you can basically lay down existing commands you already have in your deck and level them up and get some sweet, sweet leveling done at the cost of not really leveling up the character experience-wise. And given the fact that you can pretty much level up commands by using them in combat, it does run the gamut of making the command board a little bit pointless, but that is part of the reason why they made it a mode in the Mirage Arena, but I'll tackle that at a later date. In the meantime, I have more rules to explain, because, yeah, you basically take turns playing with each individual characters. And, again, as you can see here, you also have cards to use. The cards, in fact, are also your commands, so again, if you have, you know, shotlock commands, then those will correlate with certain abilities you can use via the card system. I don't know if I showed off at this point, I probably don't, but again, you will be seeing, but basically you can use your command cards to stun enemies, you can use them to basically have GP protected, which protects you from losing goal points, and in turn, you can also, well, I don't know, just do a bunch of different stuff with it. You can basically get, you know, 2 or 3 dice rolls, depending on if you have enough magic cards, or just a bunch of different stuff, really. You'll pretty much see what it is later on, or throughout the video, really. I'm just sort of rushing to explain through everything, because, yeah, for as wordy as I'm making all this, it's really easy. Just roll around the board, get stuff, get goal points, get to the end. Jobs are good, and really. The card system is basically just stuff that you can use to fuck with other players. By the way, that little present thing that Aqua just rolled around on was the, well, the present block. The prize block. Basically, it means you get extra goal points based on how many people take damage from the little damage squares right beneath it, because again, if you land on it without rolling on the present block, well, you're fucked, basically. And there is a reason why you want to use the command board, or at least for the land of departure, because yeah, well, it's kind of blocked off by the screen at the moment, but right on the left-hand side, you can see the star block. That contains Ragnarok. I don't get it this playthrough, because it had been a while since I last played the command board, and I completely forgot what I was supposed to get. And even in that case, I believe Terra and Aqua get it anyway, so I'm pretty much fucked. I'm really just doing this as a means of showing you how to get the Ragnarok command style, and basically, use a command board, make sure you're in deep space while you're doing it, and not the Mirage Arena. Get Ragnarok, finish the game, and you pretty much get that command to keep, so make sure you do that, otherwise, well, you're stupid. And there is another reason to also go through the Mirage, not the Mirage Arena, well, there is another reason to go through the command board, because you do also get a unique D-Link, but I'll explain that a little bit later, because you can't access it at this point because we haven't gone to the specific world yet, but I will point it out once we get there. By the way, that's also stun and what happens, and when you're out of command cards, well, you can't place it down on specific segments of the board, but what you can do is go on this. Yeah, that's the special panel. This varies depending on which command board, because surprise, surprise, you have different command boards based on specific worlds, and as Aqua, I will be showing them off. Yeah, excuse me. Something that I don't think any other playthrough of Birth by Sleep has ever done, or at least so I assume, because nobody could probably be arsed with this very boring thing. And I probably would have gotten Ragnarok right then and here, but I think at this point I was just more concerned with showing off the thing, and I was... Well, I mean, I do get Ragnarok off-screen, obviously, but I was pretty much more so concerned with showing off what each individual block and panel really is, so, yeah, if my waffling commentary didn't explain it, then just read the screen, dude. But yeah, the special panel in this case just lets you use your Keyblade glider to go to whatever panel you want. And the special panel does actually change up depending on, you know, which command board world you're going to. Anyway, you can also level up commands using your GP. You pretty much have 2 stocks of GP, the first of which is stuff that you can invest in leveling up your commands on the specific block points, others of which is basically, well, how much GP you have to win the game, which is pretty much right at the bottom. So again, you'll know if you have enough GP to win the game when the little icon down below starts glowing, so yeah, no fuss, no muss. But yeah, collect the 4 specific, you know, heart symbols, and you're pretty much golden. And that's how you win the game.
There we go.
I did cut this down rather significantly, because, spoiler alert, I didn't actually win. By the way, you can chain together your blocks to increase the value, and thus get more gold points in which you can use to win the game. It's something that Terra used to win and defeat me at a children's board game. A blue blue blue, a blue blue blue, a blue 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 blue. Boo-hoo.
Check this out.
So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the command board. I mean, I will say, like, I mean, again, it might seem fairly boring, like a sort of Mario Party-esque ripoff, but it's not terrible, mind you. I mean, again, if you've ever played Sonic Shuffle, that is how boring board games can truly be if you're playing them as a fucking video game, but I don't know, I mean, again, it is worth it for at least seeing some of the specific, you know, quirks and unique changes between each command board that you play on, but at the same time, though, it's also, again, you can level up commands via basic combat, and I don't know, I guess maybe if you find the grinding in the game a little bit boring, you can level up commands here by doing something a little bit different, but I don't know, it's kind of a way of doing functionally the same thing, just with board games, which, I don't know, to me this seems like a bit more of a personal thing to Nomura specifically, because, and I might be getting my information slightly wrong here, but one of the things from Tetsuya Nomura's childhood, you know, creator of Kingdom Hearts, for those of you who don't know, and are just joining us for the Birth by Sleep commentary, is that, yeah, back when Tetsuya Nomura was a young lad, his dad actually designed board games for him to play, which is what got him into, you know, consequently got him into designing artwork, and alternatively, what also, I suppose, got him into video games, because he loved playing board games as a kid, and it's something that will occur quite a bit in the Kingdom Hearts series, actually, with the specific games that characters play, and making a lot of friends along the way. It's quite heartwarming in a way, but at the same time, though, depending on what you're here for Kingdom Hearts stuff, whether it's RPG, action, slashing around the Heartless or whatever, yes, things will be quite different. But regardless of such, I'm pretty much just... Yeah, we're pretty much almost done with this, so I don't really have too much left to say, but, yeah. Depending on what cards you have in your deck, you can pretty much have very different reactions. The most useful abilities of which... Well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to say that. I'll save that for when we get to Aqua's thing, because we're going to be covering, like, 5 more of the fuckers afterwards, and, yeah, I'm going to need all the commentary I can save for when we get to the other command boards. So, excuse me. So I'll save my tongue for then. But in the meantime, we should have some leveled up commands, which will finally make it applicable to command melding, because... Yeah, when you have commands immediately, you can't meld them, you know, just as soon as you get them. You need to level them up first, which is why you need to command meld. But you gotta level it up before you can command meld to level up more commands, to get better commands, to level up those commands so you can get even better commands. And by God, we have a lot to cover here. So on that note, I am Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal. I've got a splitting headache, so I'm gonna go to sleep, and when I wake up again from my birth by sleep, we will be going to the Dwarf Woodlands. Catch you dudes and dudettes next time, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.